Hi everyone, welcome to Friday Live.
Hi, today is Friday, March
22nd.
2024.
Oh,
So,
happy spring.
yes, spring is here, so we do have our spring notes. So, all right, to start, did you know I saw a headline, and of course, my partner has a lot more fashion sense than I do, and said she saw it already.
So, the
Birkin,
Birkin story.
Yep. So it's actually someone is trying to bring a class action. Actually, so they're making a class action saying that Birkin's. So Hermes is making it too difficult for people to
obtain
purchase.
A bag.
Yes.
So I think people are alleging that it's basically a purchase per purchase. Like you have to purchase, as many of us know, to get into the door, you have to start purchasing your way in order to get access to more.
Right. So they make you, buy other accessories like scarves, what other jewelries they have, or other bags, before you can even have that access to want to purchase the actual Birkin bag.
Yeah, it's like having the opportunity. But I think the lawsuit is alleging that it's even after purchasing, they were not offered. It's not a guarantee thing that they were offered such opportunity to purchase the better items or the big ticket items that they wanted.
Right. So why we talking about Birkin?
Why are we talking about Birkin?
Because Birkin. So personal property. Personal property. A lot of clients actually, do come to us and ask. So we can deed away the property, the real property, investment property, whatever property, real property, into their trust. And they can change their financial account's name to their trust. But what do they do with their Birkins?
Yeah, what do you do with the bags and the jewelry and like all the things that collections, arts? That's an investment.
Yeah, so there is a whole big category in personal property. So in our short term, we want to just define a little bit what exactly is personal property, and tell people how they are accounted for in our planning. So, like Angela said, personal property can be tangible or intangible.
Mm-hmm. So, there are two big categories.
Examples of tangible property is something that you can see and touch. So, any artwork, collections, Birkins, watches, anything that you can see. Furniture,
book collections, first editions.
Any memorabilia, but things that has no title to, right? There's no ownership. There's no proof of ownership.
Things that you would put in your safety deposit box.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's pretty much the tangible. The intangible are like copyrights, patents, a lot of digital assets. So nowadays it's becoming more and more popular. You actually have certain rights, when you say publish your ebook online. Mm-hmm. If you have registered for some account that has certain viewership, right? All those may accumulate value and they become your digital asset. Mm-hmm. Those are intangible because they're not touchable.
Yeah, that's a big discussion. Maybe we should do another one about that because especially with all the influencers and stuff, it's like a business, but it's like a digital business.
We'll talk a little dive a little deeper next into exactly how they're defined. So how do we account for these in our trust planning?
So typically we accumulate things over time and we change our mind. Like sometimes one day you might want to give your jewelry to your mom, the next day maybe your sister wants to have earrings. So what we do in our trust planning is that we said that it's according to the attached memorandum that will be affixed to your plan. And that memorandum will be furnished by the individual. And whatever is most recent in time will be binding.
Okay. So there's that memorandum. It's a document where you get to list out all the personal property that you want to account for and who do you want to give it to. And then in our trust construction, we'll basically build in that language saying that, by reference to that document, the trustee will need to manage your personal property as you wish, as you indicated in that memorandum.
Mm-hmm. And that's to make things easier for you, for the person making the trust, because you could always change your mind. You don't have to come to us.
Right. And actually speaking back to when we talk about the Matthew Perry case, mm-hmm. if it was done completely properly and he did account for all his other personal properties, there's a chance that he did not have to go through probate with all other stuff. So because then the trustee will be able to just manage those as they are, because supposedly there's no title to transfer. They just need to have that legality, have an giving that authority to the trustee to take care of all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about the personal property portion of it. And for the long term, today we would want to explain a little bit about cost basis. So
the 1031 exchange has been very popular. We've been seeing stores pop up like escrow companies that say they're focused on 1031. So what exactly is that?
okay. So when we talk about, putting our real property into our trust, basically a lot of people are worrying about the cost basis and how it, how their beneficiary get to inherit that after. So cost basis is whenever you purchase an item, okay? For example, in our case, it would be either a business or a rental property because it has to be an investment property,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The price that you purchase at, that is your cost. So that determines the cost basis in the eye of the IRS. Right. So then hopefully, okay, your property will appreciate in time, and then maybe you change your mind. You want to invest into other things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to roll into a bigger property, or you want to, instead of doing real property, you want to go for farmland. Or it's a lot of different things you can, but it needs to be for the same purpose. So if initially it was a rental property, it's for investment purposes. The next property or the next thing that you roll into, it's got to be like kind in purpose. So then when you say, even if you make, doesn't matter how much money you make, okay, you make $1 million off of that first initial investment, you
Mm-hmm.
roll that whole thing over to the next one. Do you need to pay tax yet?
No.
If you do the 1031 exchange properly, that cost basis, the cheap cost that initially the first purchase gets to transfer over to the second investment.
Mm-hmm.
It gets that same cost basis, even though, yes, you actually purchase it for a lot more, but that was your cost basis. But you accumulated all those appreciations that you don't have to pay tax just yet. So likewise, you can keep on rolling, make it bigger. Okay, so you save on the taxes, then basically it gives you more capital to invest, to continue investing. So 1031 is a pretty good tool. Now for our purposes, I wanted to tie into even longer term. Okay, so if you keep on rolling and then eventually we gotta pass away. Okay.
Yeah.
So
for the estate part.
Right. So if when okay, for example, me, then if I pass away, then I give it to my beneficiary. They get that step up basis because they inherit my investment. So then, the initial cost basis through all the 1031 exchanges carries on until I die. They get that whole big step up basis. No capital gain tax. Did I explain it well?
Kind of. I
Kind
think
of.
so.
Right.
Basically, yes. But I don't know, maybe we have to do something about the capital gains tax. We have to talk about that next time.
Capital gains tax? No, if you do 1031 exchange
There's
properly.
no capital gains tax. But do we all know what a capital gains tax is?
Oh, okay.
That's
All right.
what I meant.
All right. So next time, same thing. Okay. We'll nitpick little things and go a little further for you.
Yeah, we're trying to incorporate some tax things because it is tax season and we want you to be prepared and start thinking about all that stuff.
Before we go to the to-do, so with the 1031 exchange.
With some caveat, right?
Yes, of course. There are different conditions that need to be applied. First of all, it needs to be from investment to investment, like I explained. The purpose needs to be the same, okay? And then there are time frames where you need to get those done. So it is advisable that you actually work with the 1031 escrow because they do keep all the timeline. If they know what they're doing, you have to designate the next property within a certain time. You need to finish that transfer within the certain time in order for it to work.
Yeah, record keeping is important as in with our tax, legal, and escrow documents.
Now we get to the to-do list. So because tax filing usually it's due April 15th. Okay. So this year we do have an automatic extension. Okay, and what that means is you don't have to submit the tax filing forms yet. It's automatic. You don't even need to submit an extension form request. However, if you think you're going to owe tax, you still need to get that tax payment in there. Okay. So our to-do list.
Check in with your allies, your team of experts, whether it's your CPA. Make sure you give all your 1099s to them, all your documents. Like we said, record keeping is very important.
I think I back up a little bit.
Financial advisors.
Right, before you go to CPA, make sure you fish out all the 1099. So it's like, we gave you the homework a couple weeks ago to actually gather all your financial documents. find all your financial accounts, that's when you need to account for it, just to make sure. If you got the 1099 for every single account, then even if it's just a few dollars of investment income, like interest income, they should still issue a 1099, and all those should go to your CPA. So before that, maybe meet up with your financial advisors, whatever.
Check your investment portfolios, make sure.
And then talk to them a little bit, just to check on your progress in your portfolio to make sure it's progressing in the right direction that you want and aligns with your long-term goal. And then go to your CPA, make sure you're filing everything correctly and you're not missing out on any of the tax incentives. And then also talk, maybe hopefully your CPA would have a little bit of time for you just to think about in the coming year, what should you do instead if you want to take your planning a step further,
like some forecasting, some future planning. Since you're already looking at your documents, you're kind of like looking at what happened last year as you're filing it. Think forward, right? Spring forward.
Hopefully you do not do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But if you want to improve on your all the outcome of your investments, or you want to start to take advantage of some of the incentives that weren't available before, or if you weren't ready but now you think you are, now is a good time to talk to your CPA and all your financial advisors or whatever professionals to help you
and your estate planning attorneys.
And we're here, at the very end, we're here to wrap everything up for you.
Yes, get everything done. I think it's a good time for us to review what happened and what should we do differently or improve on moving forward. So just gathering all these documents, get all your ducks in a row, like moving into this next year.
Definitely. So good luck with tax filing, and until next week, we'll keep on reminding you about tax, because it's not. We still have a few more weeks.
And we'll talk about spring break next time too.
So looking forward to it. But before that, see you next week.
See you next week.
Plan and live your legacy.
Yes.